upbeat, playful music starts. Hey there, cat moms and cat dads. Let's paint a picture. You come home with a new toy, a little mouse filled with that magic green stuff. You toss it to your furry overlord. For a second, nothing. Then, the sniff. The pupils dilate. The head rubbing begins, followed by some intense licking. Maybe a bit of drool. Suddenly, your dignified, sophisticated cat is rolling on the floor like a maniac, kicking at the air and making bizarre chirping noises. Sound familiar? Have you ever looked at this chaotic scene and thought, did I just break my cat? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're diving headfirst into the wild world of catnip and valerian root to uncover the scientific secrets behind your cat's blissful freakouts. And trust me, the answer is way cooler than you think. Before we start, drop the name of your little weirdo in the comments below. Alright, before we get to the good stuff, let's talk about our cat's superpower. Their nose. A cat's sense of smell is a finely tuned instrument. It's like they have a high-definition 4K television for scents, while we humans are stuck with a blurry, black and white screen from the 1950s. They have up to 200 million scent receptors in their noses. That's about 40 times more than us. This incredible sense of smell isn't just for sniffing out the can of tuna you opened 3 rooms away. It's crucial for communication, hunting and detecting friend or foe. They even have a special organ on the roof of their mouth called the vomeronasal organ, or Jacobson's organ, which is basically a second nose designed to analyse extra special scents, like pheromones. Remember that organ. It's the VIP entrance to the party we're about to discuss. So what exactly is this magical plant that turns our feline friends into blissed-out goofballs? Catnip, officially known as nepetalactone, is a member of the mint family. Yup, the same family that gives us peppermint and spearmint. To us, it just has a mild, earthy, minty smell. But to a susceptible cat, it's like a mix of the world's best perfume and an all-you-can-eat buffet. The plant is native to parts of Europe and Asia, but it's now grown all over the world, primarily for one reason: to bring joy to our little domestic tyrants. You can find it in all forms: dried flakes, fresh leaves, sprays, and packed into countless toys. It's the undisputed king of feline entertainment, a simple herb that holds the key to unlocking a side of your cat you rarely get to see. It's the botanical equivalent of a rock concert for your kitty. The real magic behind catnip isn't the plant itself, but a specific chemical compound hiding within its leaves and stems. Meet the star of our show, nepetalactone. Say it with me: nepetalactone. This is the active ingredient, the secret sauce, the molecule of pure kitty joy. When a cat chews on or rubs against the plant, the leaves are bruised, releasing this volatile oil into the air. Nepetalactone is incredibly light and floats easily, making it the perfect airborne messenger to travel directly into your cat's superpowered nostrils. Think of it as a specific key designed to unlock a very specific door in your cat's brain. And when that door's unlocked, well, that's when the party starts. It's a beautifully simple, yet incredibly effective bit of natural chemistry. So how does this one little molecule cause such a dramatic reaction? It all starts with that super sniffer we talked about. When your cat inhales the nepetalactone, the molecules bind to protein receptors inside their nasal cavity. This sends a signal straight up to their brain, specifically to the olfactory bulb, which processes smells. But it doesn't stop there. The signal then travels to other brain regions, including the amygdala, which is responsible for emotional responses, and the hypothalamus, the brain's master gland that controls everything from hunger to behaviour. It's a chain reaction of neurological signals, all sparked by one tiny, fragrant molecule. Your cat isn't just smelling something nice. Their brain is being told to feel something amazing. Remember that VIP entrance, the vomeronasal organ? This is where things get really interesting. Scientists believe that nepetalactone mimics the effects of a cat's happy pheromones. When the molecule is detected by this special organ, it triggers the hypothalamus to release a cascade of feel-good endorphins into the bloodstream. These are the same chemicals that create a runner's high in humans. In essence, your cat's brain is tricked into thinking it's experiencing a moment of extreme happiness or social bonding, similar to the feelings a female cat might have around a male, or just a general sense of well-being and security. The catnip isn't just a smell, it's a biochemical shortcut to euphoria, bypassing all the normal steps and going straight to the brain's pleasure center. So let's get to the big question. Is my cat actually getting high? The short answer is, kind of, yes. The response cats have to nepetalactone is often described as a euphoric, or even a mild, short-lived hallucinogenic state. The endorphin release creates a powerful feeling of pleasure and contentment. This is why they rub, roll, and act so utterly blissful. They're literally bathing in their own brain's happy chemicals. It's a completely natural, non-toxic experience for them. The effects are intense but brief, usually lasting only about 10 to 15 minutes. After the high wears off, they enter a refractory period where they'll be immune to catnip's effects for an hour or two. Then they'll likely find a sunbeam and take a well-deserved nap to dream of all the invisible things they just chased. The catnip experience follows a pretty predictable pattern, although every cat adds their own unique flair. First comes the investigation, the initial sniff. Then, if they're susceptible, the real fun begins. They'll often start by licking or chewing the source of the catnip, which helps release more of that precious nepetalactone. This is usually followed by intense head shaking and chin and cheek rubbing. They are literally trying to cover themselves in this amazing scent. Then comes the grand finale, the full body roll. They'll flop onto the floor, writhing around in pure ecstasy. Some cats become hyperactive, doing zoomies around the house. Others become incredibly mellow and just zone out, staring at nothing with a blissful, drooly expression. It's a multi-stage performance of pure, unadulterated joy. Ever had a cat who just doesn't care about catnip? You're not alone. It turns out the catnip gene is a genetic lottery. Sensitivity to nepetalactone is an inherited trait, passed down from a cat's parents. Scientists estimate that about 70 to 80% of adult cats will have a reaction, which means a solid 20 to 30% are completely immune. They can sniff a pile of the most potent catnip in the world and just walk away with a look of utter confusion, as if to say, "Is this it? I don't get the hype." It has nothing to do with their personality or breed. It's just pure genetics. So, if your cat is in the immune club, don't worry, they aren't broken. And don't give up hope just yet. We have another option coming up. Another group that's often left out of the catnip party is kittens. If you've ever tried to give catnip to a tiny fluff ball under 6 months old, you probably got no reaction at all. This is completely normal. The part of their brain that responds to nepetalactone isn't fully developed yet. Most kittens won't show any interest in catnip until they reach sexual maturity, somewhere between 6 months and a year old. So, save those catnip toys for when they're a bit older. It's like their brain needs to boot up the catnip response software first. Once it's installed, though, it's usually there for life. Giving catnip to a kitten is like giving a car key to a toddler. They just don't know what to do with it yet. Okay, so what if your cat is part of the 30% who couldn't care less about catnip? Don't despair, there's another player in the game. Meet valerian root. This is the root of the Valeriana officinalis plant, which is known in humans for its calming, sedative properties, often used as a sleep aid. But for many cats, it has the opposite effect, at least at first. For a significant portion of the feline population that is immune to catnip, valerian root can trigger a very similar euphoric and playful reaction. So if you've been disappointed by catnip's lack of effect, valerian might just be the magic ticket to unlocking your cat's goofy side. It's the perfect alternative for the discerning feline who scoffs at the mainstream. So why does valerian work when catnip doesn't? It comes down to a different active ingredient. Instead of nepetalactone, the key compound in valerian root is called actinidine. While it's a completely different chemical, scientists believe it interacts with the cat's brain in a very similar way, binding to the same types of receptors and triggering that same wonderful endorphin release. It's like having two different keys that can open the same door to the kitty funhouse. So even if your cat's genetic lock doesn't fit the nepetalactone key, the actinidine key might just do the trick. Nature, in its infinite wisdom, provided a backup plan for feline fun. There is one notable difference with valerian root: the smell. While catnip has a relatively pleasant, minty aroma, valerian root does not. To most human noses, it smells like a combination of old cheese and stinky gym socks. It's a very potent, earthy, and frankly, unpleasant odour. But what smells awful to us can smell absolutely divine to our cats. That strong, musky scent is what draws them in. So if you decide to try valerian with your cat, be prepared. You might want to open a window, but seeing your cat happily rolling around will probably make the funky smell worth it. It's a small price to pay for their happiness, right? Just maybe don't sprinkle it on your pillow. Let's do a quick head-to-head. Catnip versus valerian. Both can cause a state of euphoria and playfulness in cats. Catnip is from the mint family, while valerian is from the honeysuckle family. Catnip's active ingredient is nepetalactone. Valerian's is actinidine. The biggest difference often comes after the initial excitement. While the catnip high usually just fades away, leading to a sleepy cat, the valerian experience often has a second act. After the initial 10 to 15 minutes of hyperactive fun, the sedative qualities that affect humans can kick in for cats too, leaving them very calm, relaxed, and ready for a deep sleep. So you get the zoomies first, then the cuddles. It's a 2-for-1 deal. This is the most important question for any loving cat parent. Is this stuff safe? Can my cat get addicted or overdose? You can relax. Catnip and valerian are considered completely safe and non-addictive for cats. Their bodies don't build up a tolerance or a physical dependence. The worst thing that can happen if they get too much is usually a mild tummy ache or some vomiting and diarrhea, but even that is rare. Most cats have a built-in off switch. When they've had enough, they simply lose interest and walk away. They instinctively know their limit, so you can't really overdose them in the dangerous sense of the word. They'll just get overstimulated and decide nap time is a better idea. Let's bust a common myth. People often say catnip is like drugs for cats. While it's a funny and easy comparison, it's not entirely accurate and can be misleading. Yes, it alters their mental state and triggers pleasure centres, but the comparison ends there. The compounds in catnip and valerian don't function like addictive narcotics in humans. They don't cause withdrawal symptoms, they don't have long-term negative health effects, and they don't lead to dependency. It's more accurate to think of it as a form of aromatherapy or sensory enrichment that provides a safe, temporary, and joyful experience. It's a harmless bit of fun, not a dangerous vice. So how can you use these herbs responsibly to maximise the fun and enrichment for your cat? The key is moderation. A little goes a long way. Using it once or twice a week is plenty to keep it feeling special. If you offer it every day, your cat can become desensitised to its effects, and it will lose its magic. Think of it as a special treat, not an everyday meal. The goal is to use it as an enrichment tool to make their lives more interesting and stimulating. It's a way to encourage play, reduce boredom, and promote exercise, especially for indoor cats who need that extra mental and physical stimulation. Beyond just sprinkling it on the floor, there are some really creative ways to use catnip and valerian. Is your cat ignoring that expensive scratching post you bought? Sprinkle a little catnip on it to make it irresistible. Are they scared of their travel carrier? Put a catnip-laced toy inside a few hours before a trip to create a positive association. It's a fantastic tool for training and behaviour modification. You can also use it to introduce a new toy or bed and make it instantly more appealing. It's a secret weapon in the cat parent's arsenal for making scary things fun and boring things exciting. But why? Why does this reaction even exist in the first place? Cats in the wild weren't getting little baggies of catnip from the pet store. So what's the evolutionary purpose? One leading theory is that it acts as a natural pest repellent. A 2021 study found that when cats rub and roll on catnip, the nepetalactone coats their fur and acts as a powerful mosquito repellent. So that euphoric rolling isn't just for fun. It might be an instinctual behaviour to protect themselves from insect bites and the diseases they carry. The high is just a very, very pleasant side effect of this clever, all-natural bug spray. Nature is a genius. The power of these plants doesn't just apply to our little house panthers. The sensitivity to nepetalactone and similar compounds is found across the feline family. Big cats like lions, tigers, leopards and jaguars have all been observed reacting to catnip in a similar playful and euphoric way. Imagine a 400-pound tiger rolling around and purring over a bit of mint. This shared trait highlights the deep evolutionary roots of this behaviour. It's a fundamental part of what makes a cat, whether they're napping on your couch or roaming the savannah. It's a reminder that inside every house cat is a tiny tiger, just waiting for the right scent to let loose. When you're shopping for catnip, remember that freshness is key. The volatile oils that cause the reaction degrade over time. Old stale catnip that's been sitting on a shelf for a year will be far less potent than a fresh batch. Store your dried catnip in an airtight container in a cool, dark place, or even the freezer, to preserve its power. When it comes to toys, you might notice your cat loses interest after a while. You can often recharge them by marinating them in a bag with fresh catnip for a few hours. A fresh, potent product will give your cat the best and safest experience, ensuring maximum zoomies and blissful drooling. Ultimately, catnip and valerian are more than just a funny quirk. They are a form of sensory enrichment that taps directly into a cat's natural instincts and brain chemistry. For indoor cats who can easily get bored, this kind of stimulation is incredibly important for their mental health. It encourages play, reduces stress, and provides a safe outlet for their energy. It allows them to engage their senses in a powerful way, connecting them to their wild heritage. When you give your cat some catnip, you're not just giving them a toy, you're giving them an experience. You're helping them be their happiest, weirdest, most wonderful feline selves. So there you have it. The secret science behind your cat's favourite pastime is revealed. It's not magic, it's biochemistry. From the nepetalactone molecule tricking their brain into a state of pure bliss, to the evolutionary benefit of repelling pests, it's a fascinating glimpse into the complex world of our furry companions. It's a reminder that even their silliest behaviours have deep scientific roots. And let's be honest, watching them roll around, lost in their own little world of joy, is one of the absolute best parts of being a cat parent. If you learned something new about your furry overlord today, please boop that like button, subscribe for more adventures into the feline mind, and share this video with a fellow cat person who needs to understand their kitty's addiction. And for our final question, what's the absolute weirdest thing your cat has ever done on catnip? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and give your little weirdo a scratch from us.